Before we continue into some of the other reasons a recession may happen, do you believe that these 13 reasons is enough to convince bulls to become bears?
No, at this point, I think that that's one of the things that Jeff Gundlach actually mentioned as something that worries him is that you've heard the expression irrational exuberance. Everybody, once everybody goes to one opinion, which is that we're not going to have the recession, that we have a soft landing, that the economy's doing great, that we're going to come back from it without any more pain. Once everybody seems to believe in one thing, that's when the other thing happens. Now, Jeff Gunlack was saying, things people are happy, and the stock market has reached these record highs in the last few days actually, and all this he says worries him, which is kind of funny because I think that's the very definition of what I would call a perma bear, which is a person who has a permanent pessimistic attitude about the markets. Is when everybody starts being happy, they start worrying, right? If everybody's worried, they're just contrarian in that way. And Gundlach he does have a history of being downbeat about the future of the market. So it's not a surprise that he's sticking to his recession call. But I think it's funny that once everybody's happy, that he thinks that that's an indication that it's going in the other direction.
And I feel like I've heard this before, and if I've heard this, I'm sure others have heard this, then why are we still, I guess, why are we still playing the same game? Why are we still following this?
Well, it's a lot of people have a lot of money riding on it. So, and a lot of people are paid very well to try to predict the future, right? They're basically fortune tellers. And as somebody who was a reporter who sometimes had to write a story about why the stock market rose and fell that day, which I believe is the hardest job in financial journalism, because you basically have to take the first thing that somebody tells you. Could be any number of 100 things or no reason at all. It could be completely irrational. But just like that, you need to establish a narrative for yourself in order to feel stable, in order to feel like confident enough to invest. So these are all predictions from, Gundlach is a billionaire, like I said. Rosenberg's very well respected in the economic field. And there were a few other people that I mentioned in the story who still are holding on to this. And I don't know. I kind of like the idea that we have these people that are digging their feet in, and this big surprise announcement on Friday about job growth didn't sway them. They're just like, well, the government revises their numbers all the time. This will be another time. Or, hey, this is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. What about the Federal Reserve's household survey, which shows that unemployment is a lot higher? Or now Rosenberg mentions the Beige book. The Beige book is put out by the Federal Reserve every 8 times a year, and it's the anecdotal. They talk to people, and they have anecdotal evidence of how things are going out all around the country. So this gives you, all the statistics are the numbers, and these are the words that will give you a clue as to what's going on among bankers and business leaders, the people who hire and fire all around the country. And he says that the latest Beige book, which came out in January, and the one before that, which came out in November, are the most pessimistic about the future of the economy that he's ever read.
Wow. And this is
Yeah,
despite
yeah,
everyone having such
yeah.
optimism about the economy.
Well, we all pick
Wow.
the number. We all pick the facts that we want to believe, right? And I'm
Uh,
not saying, and I'm not sitting here, calling a recession. I'm not qualified, and I would never do that. But I'm also
mhm.
not sitting here and saying there won't be one, because I'm not qualified for that either. I'm just saying that human nature tells us that we have a certain momentum, and there's a certain momentum right now for saying we're out of the woods. There won't be a recession. which I don't think anybody says exactly, because they never want to they never want to be that definite, because if they're wrong, they end up looking like fools. But they do have, there is, like I mentioned earlier, just this momentum to feel like we've dodged this, a downturn.